So, after spending countless hours watching anime, I decided I'm gonna go to the garden as any Latvian to harvest some ideas.
Wait, they hit the second tower?
After a successful gardening session, I came to a conclusion that I will make a video listing some of my favorite isekais that are still being produced as it goes and not fully out, or already fully finished and are preparing for second or third seasons already. So, here's gonna be the list of my favorite isekais from the past couple of years up to this point. They're gonna be in mixed order, and they're gonna be some of my favorite ones. So let's get to it. So the first anime is From Commonplace to the World's Strongest. The anime is about how a whole class of students is being transported to another world to fight demons and basically save the world. But amongst them, the MC is counted as one of the weakest with the weakest abilities. So, as everyone would guess, his class decides to betray him and throw him at the bottom of a labyrinth, which is extremely deadly and is supposed to kill him. What happens? Well, he somehow manages to survive and mutates and starts gaining abilities from every single monster he eats. And, well, in the process, he becomes a white haired edgelord that basically has no mercy for anyone left. If you get in his way, he kills you, and that's about it. The anime itself is pretty good with character development and the psyche, and overall how characters start bonding and become closer as the story goes on. And of course, the chemistry between the classmates and how they try to figure out who was the one who basically pulled the trigger on the MC and ended up throwing him down into the dungeon or labyrinth. In the anime, they keep mixing it up. Sometimes it's a dungeon and sometimes it's a labyrinth. In the manga itself, it was just dungeon, constantly was dungeon. I guess in the dub, they just mixed it up and left it in. Nonetheless, the animation style is pretty decent. The fighting scenes are also pretty good. MC gets a lot of screen time. Some side characters also get screen time, especially the ones that are important to the plot. But then again, most of the anime is just the MC messing around, showing off how overpowered he is, and subduing other races into his kind of, I don't know, army or whatever. But then again, he alone can destroy basically nations. Oh, and instead of using magic, he just decides to make weapons from his favorite mangas and naming them basically from the names he got from them. So I guess I would recommend it to people that enjoy mainly the MC being an edge lord. Of course, when he gets attention of women, but in this anime and manga series, he isn't the shy, awkward, fumbling type of person. He actually goes for it and gets the ladies, you could say that. And he's not afraid to show it too. And there's constant dirty jokes and mentions of being lovers and so on, and makes other side characters incredibly awkward. So that's pretty interesting because most of these isekais that are also coming up, the MC is just pathetic that way. He does not know how to interact with people. They usually are overpowered, but don't know how to interact in regular situations. Second on the list is Failure Frame, a very good anime. It's ongoing. Currently, there's one episode that's released, and I surely recommend reading the manga first. And the story goes that this kid, the MC, has been an abuse victim from his parents, and he's kind of bottling up all these emotions. And once he gets betrayed, also being summoned to another world by a goddess, he gets basically disposed of because he was rank E or one of the lowest ranks, but his abilities are already from base level overpowered. He can subdue, paralyze, and poison any monster, any level, so on. It just takes a bit more time at the very start. So his psyche starts to break down, and I'm not gonna do too many spoilers, but I surely recommend reading the manga first, because the animation itself now in the ongoing anime is almost spot on, same as the manga, which makes it even better that they're keeping it as close to the manga as possible. And overall, so far in the first episode, I can say this probably will be one of the better or best isekais of this season or couple seasons overall that have been released up until this point. Third on the list is actually something I did not expect to be released because I kind of missed it. It's Suicide Squad Isekai. It's literally the whole title. And how it goes is basically everyone gets captured or so on, and almost the full squad, the Shark, Harley, Deadshot, all the good guys basically, all the interesting characters get put together and sent to another world to be kind of like the researchers or path makers or so on. But they get into a mess, and the fighting scenes, the animation style, everything there is amazing. And overall, there's currently, I think, 4 episodes only released. It's an ongoing series, and the voice acting, Japanese and the English dub, both of them are perfect. They found the right voice actors for both the dub and the original. And I was honestly blown away because I was kind of expecting it to be mediocre at best. Because sometimes I can say honestly, especially dubs or so on, are not the best, or sometimes animes lack animation style during fight scenes, especially fast paced, or sometimes there's a missing aspect, especially something like Suicide Squad, where in the movies, comics, and so on, there is gore. And I was kind of partially expecting it since it was an anime that there won't be anything of the sort, but they delivered everything. And so far, these 4 episodes that have been released have been just perfect. And when you hear the Joker, you'll know when you watch it. It's spot on. It sounds amazing. Like his voice actor is the right pick, definitely. So that is also a recommendation that I would strongly suggest watching. Number 4 on the list is, Jesus, this is a long title. I gained a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too. It's a long, it's a long title. Most isekais at this point have such long titles that it basically explains the whole plot. But as you guessed it by the title, uh, the man becomes overpowered also in the real world. But in this isekai, he can travel at his own will, basically, between worlds, and nothing happens to him. There's no cost of it, and the time seems to pass regularly. This is a finished one. It's a full anime. It's 13 episodes, as most isekais at this point, and probably we will not see a second season. At least I have not heard any news. But the whole plot goes that this kid gets bullied at school because of his body. Well, he is overweight. And he inherits this house from his grandpa. And one day he just finds this door to another world behind his bathroom wall. So he goes there, he kills an overpowered monster by accident, I think, and he gains a ton of levels, and it works like in a video game. There's a status bar, you can upgrade your skills and so on. So he just dumps all his thing on all his points on every single one of his stats. And overnight, he of course mutates and becomes this basically chiseled model looking buff dude. And of course, nobody recognizes him except this one girl he helped out before this transformation in the real world. And the story goes on as he keeps traveling between worlds, of course, gains favor from everyone. And, well, as an OP main character, he just starts messing around and sometimes causing trouble, and sometimes just uh, gaining more XP and trying to battle monsters, and also trying to learn magic, new skills, and realizes that he can use them in the real world. Since the whole anime was left on a kind of a cliffhanger and prepared for the second season, I cannot judge all too much how it goes, but from my viewpoint, the main character's voice was very monotone. There were some funny moments in the anime, but overall, the anime was not the best, but also not the worst. They could have done better, but the animation style, where it came in 3D, also with CGI, that was very well made. Like characters and all that, they basically looked identically the same as in regular 2D animation. The fighting scenes were nice, there was a bit of gore, and so on. So the anime is a nice watch. It's mainly a watch that you could put on somewhere in the background or something like that. But if you're invested into it and if you like main characters just being monotone, just kind of flowing through it, and also not taking any punches, just throwing them, then this anime is also for you. And the last on today's list is a kind of an interesting anime. It's called The Greatest Demon Lord is Reincarnated as a Typical Nobody. Well, the anime goes and starts basically with this demon lord. Well, he is human, but he has lost all emotion. Everyone fears him and everything because he just topples nations at his will. But what he really just wants is friends and companions that he would actually have fun with. So he just decides to reincarnate. Of course, one of his generals, I guess, is immortal and is teaching at the academy that he goes to after that. All the skills, memories, and everything he has retained, of course, and he is overpowered and so on. So, of course, he makes a massive scene. Everyone around him is instantly glued to him. Every single girl wants to marry him. Every dude wants to duel with him or learn his abilities and so on. Or tries to show off by calling him to fights that, well, of course, the main character wins every single time. This anime is a typical Isekai where the main character is overpowered from the very start and, well, just is there. It exists. The plot itself is not as interesting as some of the funny scenes there where the MC realizes, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that, you know. But that's as far as it goes, really. There's nothing too special about it, except the whole idea of a demon lord trying to reincarnate to make friends, make relationships, new bonds, and trying to live a regular human life instead of trying to solo every single monster on the planet or something. So that's basically it, the whole premise of that anime. As a final note, if you want to watch all of these animes ad free, no, I'm not being sponsored by them, but this is what I use on the go as well on my phone for Android, especially. The link is also going to be in the description. This app, Anilab. It's ad-free, no viruses, no nothing. You just download, you can link your Google account to it or make a new account on the app itself, and you can save the anime in the lists, like your bookmarks, or you will just be able to continue off where you left off, so you don't have to watch the whole series or write down how far you have gone. And overall, it's a good experience. Most of the time, it works fine. All the new anime there that gets released also gets released there on basically the same time. Sometimes there tends to be an issue with subtitles, but that usually gets fixed within 10 minutes of the new episodes releasing. And of course, the most popular there is One Piece, but I try not to watch it. So, if you enjoyed this video and would like more videos like these, you can leave a like and a comment, maybe recommending certain series, genres, or something I could look through, or you yourself can recommend to others viewing this video. But for now, I'll tell you goodbye.